Today on this old house,
And this new space is going to be our kitchen and dining room, completely open, no walls. We have to take this lally column out.
And I'll reveal my landscape design plans in 3D, complete with retaining wall, patio, and fire pit.
It looks really beautiful.
that's it. Hey there, I'm Kevin O'Connor and welcome back to this old house and to our project here in Lexington, Massachusetts. You can see that Charlie and his guys have made a lot of progress, and primarily by separating this house into two. So we've got the original 1960s building right here, that brick facade to the right. That has been detached from the garage because they took out the center of this entire building. Now over here in the garage, we're trying to reduce the scale of this building. So this front roof line, that's been taken off, and the slope is eventually going to come down, and it'll make the tall second story be back further, giving that building sort of less importance. The two are going to come back together with a new center entranceway. There's going to be an angled roof line, lots of glass going from the garage over to the original building, and it's going to give us a nice, proper entryway. So out back, we've got some new space. Now, the original house ended right here, but all of this is new. Over our newly poured foundation, we've got the deck down and we've got the framing going up. So lots of conventional lumber, some engineered lumber here for the headers. And we've got 2 bedrooms going in. So we've got 1 bedroom for the youngest son here. He's got a bathroom just off of that. And then on the other side of this wall, we have got the bathroom that is part of the primary suite. Now, lots of conventional lumber throughout, but here you can see engineered lumber. And that's because there's a lot of tile going into these 2 bathrooms. So upgrading to the super straight 2x4 is going to save us a lot of trouble later. Hey, Tim.
Good morning, Kevin.
On this side of the primary suite, we've got the bedroom, big wide open space, and we've got a couple features to this addition to keep with that modern aesthetic of the house. The first is there is a 2-foot cantilever right here, running the length, hanging over the foundation, all the way to our back wall right here. Now, this is 50 feet corner to corner, framed conventionally, and that was all lifted as one. Not so bad on this side because it's mostly air, and that's because we've got over 10 feet of glass going this way and about 16 feet going this way. So you'll be able to take in the beautiful views of the backyard. And this high ceiling is created in part because it is pitched from the high part and downward into the center of the house. Another nice modern aesthetic. So Tim, I get the straight engineered lumber there, but why are you staggering them?
We're building a sound deadening wall to isolate the primary bedroom from the bathroom.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I will give you a hand. These have been cut to length, I presume?
Yes, they are.
All right. This one here. Oh, yes, they have. Nice job. Okay, so how is this going to help us deaden the sound the way you're building this wall?
So to get the sound isolation from one room to the other, we've separated these studs so this sound does not travel from this stud into this room, into this room.
Which would do easily if these had, were touching, if there was 2 studs right here.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay.
And then by taking mineral wool, we're able to take a bat between this stud all the way up, creating sound deadening between this stud. Then we can take the mineral wool from this room, this bat all the way up here, creating that, and this becomes continuous all the way down.
Mineral wool is great for sound attenuation, right? So
yes.
We get the separation, we get the mineral wool, and we get it right down the middle.
Absolutely.
I love it. That's going to be a nice feature for the bedroom separated from the bathroom. Somebody gets up early and showers, you'll never know.
Bring that in tight like that. Hey, guys. Hey, Charlie. Hey. So our problem here is this lally column, which was buried in a wall before, and this new space is going to be our kitchen and dining room, completely open, no walls. We have to take this lally column out.
And this lally column is doing a lot. It's actually carrying the load of the roof along with that beam up there. And because of that new design, the architect has engineered a new beam that is much larger to go in its place. That will go the whole length here, that's like 46 feet if I'm right. Yeah. So the issue is get this out so we can install a new ridge beam. To take the load off the column and keep the roof up, we need to build temporary walls on either side of the ridge beam first. Then we can cut the column and the ridge beam out. We put a temporary plate on the ground, a double plate under the rafters, and we space double studs, carry-in studs, about 4 feet apart. We take a measurement from the double plate down to the shoe, and we add about 3/4 of an inch of that length. So when we put these in, they'll go in tight. And we pull them in, bow them in, till they go up plumb. When they come in, they actually pick the roof up at the same time. When we put the second one into it, we now create a post that's stronger than a single 2x6. Okay, now let's take out the lally column.
All right, let's put a score around this column.
Yeah. Now this is just a steel pipe that's filled with concrete. And we're just using a metal cutting tube cutter or pipe cutter. Right, gradually go in, and all of a sudden that should snap, and then it'll just pop it off of the concrete.
Yep, there it goes.
That's it.
Sent Greg and Matt up on the roof to start cutting back the roof shingles above the ridge here.
Okay.
They're gonna take off a couple of boards.
Yeah, all right, so I put a mark around the beam right here. I want to keep it away from this wall first. You see, we get this section down and then take a look and see what we've got. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another cut further away so when this comes down, it won't get hung up on itself.
All set.
All right. Here it comes. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
1 second.
All right, that is one solid beam.
Sure is. Looks like we only have about, what, 38 more feet to go?
Yeah, well, it shouldn't take too long.
These are perfect. It's time for homeowners Billy and Michelle to make some decisions on the hardscape. So I brought in someone to help them visualize my design ideas.
Hey, Billy. Hey, Michelle. I want you to meet my friend, Mike Prey.
How you doing? Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Hi there. Good to meet you.
So today, out front here, I want to talk about these retaining walls, right? So we have to retain this grade behind me. It's going to run, there's a stone wall that's going to run all the way out this way, and it's going to be tiered with a planting bed in between. But what I want to discuss with you is how they're going to be built, because there's two ways. We could either use a natural stone, just like the actual stone themselves, and build the wall, or we could be more precise and use a block wall and take the veneer and apply it to the front. So it would just go right on like that. And I think with the modern look that you're trying to achieve here, to catch all the roof lines and funky angles, you're going to have a cleaner layout if we use the block wall. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Okay, so we have 4 samples of veneer. You want to run through them?
So I brought you 4 different options today. The first one is a bluestone out of Pennsylvania that's cut into a thin veneer. The next 3 are all going to be granite. Difference being is it's all based on color. This one right here is going to be predominantly darker gray. This is cut by a local cutter. Your next option right here is going to be a mix between several different quarries of grays and browns, as you can see here, and tans. Your next option is going to be predominantly gray with minor striations through it.
Well, I think they all look like really great options. I think they can work, but I think we really want to talk about the aesthetics that are going to make the most sense. And given we're going to have this dramatic front of the house now with a lot of detail, I think it makes a sense to do something that's kind of clean and simple, complement the house, not compete with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would say, for me, it's really a choice between the first one and the fourth one.
Okay.
I think are going to be able to help us achieve that the most.
So the bluestone and this granite on the end.
So it gets even better. I can show you
All right.
right here.
Great.
Here's option number 1.
Looks good.
And then here is option number 4.
Well, we like the 1 and 4, but I think number 4 is going to be our choice.
Okay.
We have a lot of different textures and with the mid-century modern, a lot of different lines, and that's going to give a nice linear horizontal space along the whole wall.
I agree.
I definitely agree too. It'll offer a good contrast between the paver options as well.
Yeah, and it's going to blend in. It's not going to be one solid color. So I love that idea.
Great.
To the back, there's a few more things I want to show you guys and talk about. Okay, so the retaining walls from the front continue down this way. This is where the outdoor kitchen is going to be. Over here is the hydrotherapy pool. What I want to talk about are surfaces for the pathways and for the patio, all the way from the front to the back of the house. These are for the samples that Mike brought. So you want to run through them?
So I brought 4 different options today. This is a gray and charcoal predominantly concrete paver, a very uniform gauged granite. This is a gauged thermal bluestone. It's all going to be 1.5 inches thick. It's thermal blue. And this is your natural cleft bluestone option. So the difference between these two is the natural cleft right here versus this is just hit with a acetylene torch to make it pop, to give it a little bit of texture.
So they're both bluestone, granite, concrete pavers.
Yeah.
Anything jump out at you?
Yeah, I mean, so again, some really great options that could work really well. So for me, I really like the idea of the natural stone. So maybe not the concrete paver, but when I think about the aesthetic of the house, and we've got a lot going on again, and so something that's going to be clean and simple, I think bluestone's going to be perfect.
Functionally, I think we're going to go with this one here because of the lack of cleft. It's got some texture, but it's going to reduce the risk for slips, trips, and falls with regards to the accessibility that we're making most of our decisions based on.
That's kind of where I thought you were going to go with this.
Me too. Because it's all one uniform surface and it's just going to carry all the way through.
I totally agree. Offers a lot of character. And here's an example of what that looks like at the home right now.
Oh, cool.
It looks really beautiful. Let's go for it.
Great. Decision. Done. One more to go. I want to talk about the fire pit area.
Okay.
Okay, so this is part of your couch, right? It's a sectional that's going to go all the way around the fire pit. It's landed in this area. Originally thought in the design it'd be nice to come out, but I feel like it's obstructing many things like access around, views from in and out. So this is a template of the 5-foot diameter of your pit, right? You want 2 feet probably in between the furniture and that. Imagine all this furniture around. It takes up a lot of real estate. So another thing to consider is it is a fixed thing. Charlie's going to plumb a gas line in, so we can't move it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we're seeing the setup like this, and I think that you're right. It takes up a lot more space than I was anticipating. Mm-hmm. And because we're, wanting to leave it as open as possible, and of course we're thinking about, anticipating a motorized wheelchair navigating this space, it does feel very crowded.
Well, so I've been thinking of option 2 then, just in case you were going to think that, because I was feeling the same thing.
Okay.
So that's why we made this template. Okay, so I was considering moving the fire pit down here. This is where the edge of the hydrotherapy pool is, and if we center it on there, have it at least 12 feet to the center of the pit, I think it's going to give us enough room for the sofa to go all around. Then you clear up that real estate in there, bring it over, get into your yard a little bit more. What do you think?
I like it. I do have a concern for the grade. We have the accessibility as our priority for everything, and this grade's going to be a little bit too much maybe.
So what this is going to do, it'll be all one level surface. So the front of the house, all the way to the back patio, everything's the exact same grade. We'll retain this with some boulders that we found during the excavation, and then you could just plant around it and just soften it. Some privacy plants over here. I think it'll work.
Yeah, great. I mean, I like it. I think we should do it.
Great, and then we could also talk about the outdoor kitchen next time.
I got it. Yep. You got it.
Got it.
We're here in the new addition to the house, and this is Caffrey's bathroom, an accessible bathroom. You can see it's been framed in right here, and here's where the curbless shower will go. Now, there are many reasons for an accessible bathroom. It could be mobility, disability challenges like Caffrey has, but it also could be for aging in place. Anytime we do one of these rooms, we want it to be obviously functional, safe, but we'd like it to look good too. So we're off to visit with Jackie Dobson. She's an accessibility expert hired by the homeowners to help consult on this project. She's got a similar project to this that I think we can learn a lot from. Jackie?
Hi, Richard.
Nice to see you. How are you?
Good, glad to meet you.
Thanks for showing us around a little bit. I heard you are the pro in residential access.
I've been doing it for a while, 40 years, yeah.
Well, it's exciting to think about what we're going to do to help Caffrey in his bathroom.
Yes, let me show you some of the things we did here.
Okay.
Actually, let's start with the door. As you can see, this hallway is very narrow.
Yes.
In this case, we did a 42-inch door so that a wheelchair can easily make
so you
it.
can negotiate the corner, correct?
There's a ratio that you can use. And on this pocket door, you can see that there's a different button. Often they're a little tiny button you have to push, and you have to pull that little thing out.
I know.
This one you just push in, and you can pull the door.
It's a pocket because you really couldn't do a swing door.
No. I often do a swing door, and there's factors with that.
Okay,
In this situation, this one worked.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. And over here on the sink, this is a custom design sink. There are about 10 different dimensions that we look at. And one is the height off the floor, of course.
Sure. So be the right height to be able to have a wheelchair go underneath, right?
Right, but not so high that they're up too high when they're using it.
Yeah.
This is usually like 5 inches about the max. This little narrow spot is often overlooked. Sometimes the sinks are way back here, but just the narrow spot is
So you're
great.
shaded to the front, so it's easier access here.
Exactly. The drain is offset or in the back so that you can do that.
That little extra space.
You'll notice that the spout is a little bit higher on the deck. It's not a very low spout. And that way you can get a basin of water in and out if you ever need to.
Yeah.
It's a lever handle, which is very easy to use. And Caffrey will probably have a motion sensitive.
That would be great. All right, so toilet is comfort height, the wheelchair height.
Yeah. The toilet is motion sensitive.
Wireless. That's great. It can be any way you want it to be. That's terrific.
Absolutely.
And I like this too. So this is interesting. It feels like it could be a shelf, but I can rest my arm and elbow and then pull. It's great.
Yeah.
Plenty of grab bars here.
Yeah. And this is helpful if somebody's walking around into the shower space, but also if there's somebody that's helping the individual in the shower, they can easily hold on while they're assisting with his feet or wherever.
So plenty of stuff on that wet wall.
Definitely.
I love seeing this, a big lever control. Instead of a knob, which is often hard to articulate, it's easy to just move that lever or even this way. So that's great.
Right. And you need like 3 inches between things.
Yeah.
These grab bars are configured in this way so that this gentleman who has a bit of a hard time reaching forward or with his balance can first push up here, can pull here, and then pull on.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And I love this. The hand shower can be here, but it looks like it can also go down low if you wanted. Even more function.
Yeah, so that you can get the water force that you want when you're rinsing out your face cloth, And it's here actually too, because when it's here and the individual's sitting here, they can use 2 hands to wash their hair, or they can reach it. And this easily slides up and down.
And this floor is pitched, and there's no curb, so now a wheelchair can work its way in here.
Absolutely.
So all this has to be waterproof material, right? All membrane and waterproof?
Exactly, yep. So if you notice that this grab bar has an extra rail for the towel.
So that's actually pretty smart, because if you had a towel right here, you could slip off of it, and that leaves it down below.
Absolutely.
Out of the way.
There's a few companies that make that now, which is great.
Well, you've thought of everything in here. How did you get into this?
My background is in occupational therapy.
Okay.
And we deal a lot with functional tasks, how much reach, range, balance, strength, and all those factors that go into functioning and doing everything during the course of a day, even perception and sensory issues and cognitive and memory issues. Sure. And all of that goes into the design of, in this situation, of a space.
So you worked with the people and you saw there was a real niche to help do this in residential application.
Yeah, hence the customization.
Yeah.
Because this bathroom is great for Bob, but it's not going to work for maybe somebody else. Right. And Caffrey's will work just for him. And through the years, too. That's the important thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we are glad that you're on our team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for showing us how it's done.
Thank you.
The second half of that original ridge beam is now out, so there is a clear opening running the full length of this original building. So 46 feet from that brick wall to this brick wall. And Charlie, did you order that?
I did.
Right there. So now that this is out, or the old one's out, what's the process for getting the new one in?
Well, the old ridge beam, as you can see, went underneath all the rafters.
Yeah.
And the rafters just met and came together with a small collar tie. What we need to do, because the height of the new ridge beam, because it's carrying a lot more weight, it has to be bigger and thicker.
So that means you're going to go up into the rafters and
Gonna
connect
go
them to
up
it as
into the
opposed to have
rafters.
them lay on
It's
it?
going to go actually above the roof system. And the good thing is that we have an insulation system that's going to cover the part that's going up in the roof. And we want the bottom right here resting on the brick.
Yeah, I mean, typically you try to put a beam in from down below, but almost 46 feet and 3 of them, about 460 pounds each.
We're going to actually drop it in from the top because you can't get 46 feet in here. And number two, it's very heavy.
Yeah.
And to split the load in thirds, we're going to do it in 3 separate pieces.
So one end rests on that brick wall, the other one I presume is right there, so you got a little nub that's got to come out?
Yeah, we got to cut this out.
There it is.
There's that piece out.
So how do you feel about that pocket, Charlie? Good enough for the new beam?
I love the pocket, but we have a lally column with a plate on it.
Oh, first time seeing that?
It is. Now I have no worries at all.
Oh, good. All right, belts and suspenders.
Nice.
You're gonna have to come to me. Keep coming. Perfect. Perfect.
And now you see right here what we have to do is you see this line right there, top line? The top line. We have to pull these rafters up to meet that line. When we do that, we can screw that.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Right, a bit more work to do.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some more framing to do. We got to start rebuilding the center part so that we can bring this house back together, get it weather tight, and we have got a lot of mechanicals that fit into this house. So that was a big day.
It
Pretty
was.
good. All right, well, until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor
I'm Tom Silva.
I'm Richard Trethewey.
I'm Jenn Nawada.
And I'm Charlie Silva.
for this old house here in Lexington, Massachusetts.
Well, she's not exactly beautiful right now.
She's gonna be beautiful.
Next time on This Old House,
We're framing a new section of the roof, installing a glass wall with 4 windows and a sliding door.
we've got a 33-foot steel beam coming in. It's structural, but it'll also give the front of the house a modern look.
And now they can start framing the roof.
Yeah, it looks real sleek.
And drilling begins today on the geothermal system that our homeowners in Lexington have decided on. I'll show you exactly how they work.
That's next time.